Good evening, race fans. We are live for round number 4 of the Wednesday Night Dash series here in season number 3. Looks like we've just had 7 truckers show up here tonight, so kind of a small crowd. But after last race 2 weeks ago, man, were the point standings shaken up. Let's take a quick look at those. Caden McAravey picked up the win last time out, and with that win, grabbed the points lead by just 1 point over Richard Hurst, who is actually not here tonight. And Richard Hurst and Zach Voles both kind of got into it on the Discord there, so it was going to be interesting to see how that rivalry was going to shake out. But obviously, with Hurst not here tonight, that's going to be a great opportunity for both Zach Voles as well as Caden McAravey to seriously jump them in the standings. So we'll take a look again at the point standings a little on later in the broadcast. But as you can see, it's very tight, which is going to be an exciting battle all the way through this season. So the guys are at the Lady in Black tonight. It's Colton Gardner sitting on the pole. Caden McAravey Jr. is going to start second. Brandon Birmingham third. Zach Voles fourth. Mark Vickers is going to roll off fifth with Erik Richardson sixth. And DJ Fluck will start shotgun on the field. One cool thing I did notice, it looked like both Colton Gardner as well as Erik Richardson rocking a little bit of a throwback paint scheme here tonight for Darlington. We've got Colton Gardner in the Neil Bonnet special, and Erik Richardson giving a tout to Ron Hornaday Jr. As they come around turn number 4. And the green flag is out. They're going to go about 30 laps here before they get the competition yellow halfway through. And this is a very difficult track to navigate. As we see side by side, Zach Voles goes to the outside of Brandon Birmingham. And Birmingham is loose and does a nice job of hanging on to it out of turn number 2. Still all Colton Gardner out front. Side by side a little bit further back. Pretty impressive job by both Vickers and Baumgartner to be able to make that work. Give the advantage there to Brandon Birmingham. They dive strongly off into 1 and 2. Meanwhile, a little further ahead, it's Colton Gardner pulling away from Caden McAravey, who's got Zach Voles all in his rearview mirror. So one thing of note of the Darlington Raceway, turns 1 and 2, which they're heading towards right now, is going to be the wide end of the racetrack. 2 different turns, as turns 3 and 4 are much more narrow. You've got to get on the brakes a lot harder and drive it completely different. So it's going to be a mental task for these drivers to remember exactly which turn they're in at all times. Interestingly enough, this track, when it was first built, actually was the opposite way. You had the wide end in turns 3 and 4, and the small end was in 1 and 2. Some drivers love this track, some drivers hate it. Sound like somebody caught the fence there. I've still got the camera set on exciting, so it didn't pick it up. Not sure who that was. Got a tight battle here between Mark Vickers and Brandon Birmingham. It looks like Caden McAravey might be reeling in Colton Gardner a little bit right now. In fact, let's go on board right now with the 3 truck of McAravey. Coming out of turn 2 there, it's so difficult to keep the speed up. The track just really narrows as they head on down towards the Boeing backstretch. Here's into 3 and 4. You can tell the RPM's significantly lower. Still about 3/4 of a second the difference between first and second right now. Unlike most ovals that we go to, it is definitely possible to gain quite a bit of time on a driver just in one turn. If a driver happens to make a mistake or has to get out of the throttle on exit, you can very quickly make up 3-4 tenths of a second. A tight battle here going on for 4th spot, and you see right there, Birmingham missed the apex just a little bit. Vickers got a great run, but it's so tough to pass in the middle of these corners. Just not a whole lot of room at this racetrack. And then when they added the safer barriers, it seemed to make it even tighter. Currently looking out the rear view of the number 41, Brandon Birmingham. 2 different lines for these drivers. Birmingham did a good job getting the truck lined up for the exit there. We actually heard him downshift there. And through that process, it allowed, as you see, Vickers to get right up against the bumper. Birmingham drives it in deep. Looks like right now Birmingham is a lot better in 1 and 2, but it's Vickers that's a lot stronger in 3 and 4. Great pictures at the rear gearbox. Actually, a little bit of contact there from Vickers. And there goes Mark Vickers down to the inside. They're side by side into 1 and 2. This is not the spot you want to be side by side into. I can't believe Birmingham drove it in there. Pays the price a little bit by slapping the wall, but he made it work. Typically, you'll see the guy on the outside in 1 and 2 just kind of give the position, but that is not the case here for the 41 truck tonight. Great battle for 4th. Coming back down the front stretch. Let's go on board here with Mark Vickers. Look, he gets the run underneath him. And now he's going to clear Birmingham. Oh, and he catches the wall. And Birmingham's going to drive it in deep. And these guys battling is going to allow the 13 truck of Erik Richardson to catch back up as we see Birmingham coming into the pits. Not sure what happened there with Birmingham. I don't know if he got loose or what. And we see Vickers is all out of whack. He's hit the wall. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. We're looking at a replay right now. So this is where Vickers went by Birmingham. We were in the rear gearbox at this point. Vickers catches the wall. And then something happens here, I think in one, oh, there it was. So Vickers hits the wall pretty hard there. Oh. And when he went to pull into the pits, he missed pit road, so then it looks like maybe he towed. Dang, what a bummer. Those guys were putting on a heck of a show prior to that. Anyways, back up front, it's still about 3/4 of a second between Colton Gardner and Caden McAravey. And did want to mention that that unfortunate circumstance between the 41 and 84 has allowed DJ Fluck to DJ to get into the top 5. So he's running 5th right now. The Jepson's Malore machine. Currently on board here with McAravey as he tries to run down the leader, Colton Gardner. And he is a little bit quicker than Gardner right now. In fact, last time by, McAravey ran a 32:48 to Gardner's 32:54. They're about 10 laps from the competition yellow. And here comes Brandon Birmingham. He's on fresh tires. He's actually going to go by the 3 truck of Caden McAravey. So interesting strategy call here by the 41. It's going to give him some time to battle the leaders. And it looks like he's going to get one of his laps back. Yep, there he goes. And did want to make mention of Erik Richardson in that 13 truck. Of course, he's running that throwback to Ron Hornaday Jr. Had so many successful seasons in the Napa Chevy. Arguably the most successful Camping World Truck Series driver of all time. And that's probably his best paint scheme. That, and I like the Papa John's paint scheme too. The other throwback here. Whoa, it looks like McAravey had really gained some ground as they're both catching up to the 88 of DJ Fluck. But as I was saying, the 40 truck paying homage to Neil Bonnet in that Country Time car. That was number 51 that unfortunately he lost his life in at Daytona in 1994 in Speed Weeks. But an awesome paint scheme. DJ gives the leaders plenty of room. It'll be important for DJ to stay in front of Brandon Birmingham, so that's going to be a battle to keep an eye on here over the next few laps, because they're going to want to be in position for that lucky dog when the competition caution rolls around. Of course, one of the famous things about this racetrack is the Darlington Stripe. As you see, the 40 truck has got one right there. I noticed the 13 of Erik Richardson had one too. You'll see it there. Very synonymous with this racetrack of just not having a whole lot of room, and it's so easy to just push your luck on the high side and just catch the safer barrier. leave a little bit of paint behind. It's been a good battle shaping up between Gardner and McAravey. McAravey looking to make it 2 in a row. And Gardner, I believe, is looking for his first career Wednesday Night Dash Series win. Leaders cross the stripe, put lap number 26 to bed, and we're looking at 4 laps remaining here before the competition yellow. And you could see it back in the background there. Caden McAravey was really loose on exit through 1 and 2 that time, lost a few tenths of a second. You know, these guys' tires at this track, it's one of those cheese grater racetracks, just eats tires. And as we near the competition yellow, I did kind of want to take a peek at where DJ Fluck was on the racetrack compared to the 41 of Birmingham. So he's got quite a bit of space. I think DJ will be all right and be able to maintain that lucky dog position. And speaking of Darlington Stripes, it looks like DJ's got himself a pair as well. Nothing changed out front. Actually, Colton Gardner's maybe extending the lead a little bit at this point. Closest battle on the track is the 53 of Zach Vols and Erik Richardson. Has been able to put his 13 truck pretty close. And there's your competition yellow. Don't think there'll be any strategy involved here. I think everybody will come down and get 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Tires are just way too valuable to give up the track position. Unfortunately, I think Mark Vickers has retired his machine for the night. And that could ultimately really hurt him in the points. So the guys are getting ready to pull it down the pit lane. Oh, actually, it looks like well, they're all pitting, but looks like with the red there, pit road is showing closed. That's not actually accurate. iRacing needs to update that light. Oh no, somebody came over the radio and sound like they might have blown an engine. Not sure who that was, but hopefully they'll be able to limp it to the pits and get that fast repair without having to tow. There's the battle off pit road. Pretty close one, but Gardner's going to maintain the lead. Vols comes out there in third. You can see DJ Fluck up on top of the screen there, taking his wave around as the lucky dog. Birmingham going to exit. And it must have been Erik Richardson. Yeah, it must have been Erik Richardson that had the engine trouble. Hopefully he'll be able to tow without losing a lap because he had a pretty good run going there. So they will probably restart it on lap 35, which will leave us technically with that lap counting 36 laps remaining in the race. We'll have to see if Zach Bowles, DJ Fluck learned anything through the first run on maybe how to preserve some of their stuff a little bit longer to see if they can challenge either of the front runners of Colton Gardner and Caden McAravey. Either way, should be a pretty good show the rest of the way. Those guys did a great job extending their lead over third spot of Zach Bowles. So take a quick peek at the point standings once again. It is McAravey leading. Richard Hurst is not here tonight. Zach Bowles currently running third. Then Justin Neves, we're missing him, and Bernard Pollard. So it's going to be a great points night for Colton Gardner. He's currently 11th. Zach Bowles and Caden McAravey should put some ground on the rest of the field as well as they're doubling up and getting ready for the restart here. Through 3 and 4. McAravey really giving a lot of room there to Colton Gardner. In fact, Zach Bowles all the way up beside him. They're going to go side by side through 1 and 2. It's a tough corner to exit 2 out of, but they're able to make it work. And Colton Gardner loves every bit of that battle he sees in his rearview mirror. It's going to allow him to extend the lead. Gardner already out to about 0.7 of a second lead over Zach Bowles and Caden McAravey. And I think if the results would stand just this way, Zach Bowles would take over the points lead. So that pass that he made on Caden McAravey was pretty important there. And Bowles is currently reeling in Colton Gardner. Yeah, he's reeling him in big time. Down to just 0.2 of a second. So we go on board now with Zach Bowles. So he's caught him, and that's one thing, but passing somebody is a whole nother thing, especially at a tight track like Darlington. You heard him have to get out of the throttle ever so slightly there on the exit of 2. And it's so easy to do here. About half a second between the two leaders. And you can tell they're definitely running two different lines. Colton Gardner enters low, drifts up high, and Zach Voles, you see, he's really, really good through 1 and 2 right now, but I'm afraid he might be using a little bit more tire as we see him get underneath Colton Gardner. And that battle's allowing Caden McAravey to close back in. We've seen it time and time again, Zach Voles be so fast on the initial start of these runs, but then kind of fade over the stretch of the long run. So we'll see if he was able to learn anything through that first green flag run to be able to stay with these top 2. Oh, and Voles cut the wall. Oh, and he makes some contact with McAravey. And I'm sure Caden McAravey is not going to be happy with that. Yeah, it looked like Vol just overshot the exit of turn 2 there. And this is huge for Colton Gardner. Fortunately for Caden McAravey, it's costing him a ton of time right now. Coming to 26 to go this time across the stripe. Looks like Voles has been able to reconvene and mentally reset because he's putting together some fast laps now. In fact, last time by, he was the fastest truck on the track. Oh, he bounced it off the wall there in 3 and 4. And it cost him a little bit of time. Despite hitting the wall, he was still the fastest truck last time by. And there's Vols in the wall again. Something tells me his right front tire is just giving up a little bit on him, and once that starts happening, the truck doesn't want to turn quite as well, and definitely makes it easier to get up in there in the red and white fence. See Caden McAravey, another big run. Here comes the 3 truck. And Voles is going to fight back hard on the outside. Voles doesn't want to give up this position. Not sure if he's aware of just how important that position could be for the championship battle, as here comes McAravey. He gets such a good run right now out of turn number 2. But you almost have to time the run just perfectly to complete a pass with this tight racetrack. I'll show you what I mean here. Let's see if he can get the same run he has been on exit of 2. Not quite as good as the last couple times, but he backs it off way early. There's the 53 truck. Zach Bowles is in the wall. But you see there's just not much room. And this is really not the spot that you want to be trying to pass right here. Oh, Bowles hard into the wall. He's going to come back down and across the track. And Caden McAravey gets a piece of him. And it looks like Caden McAravey is really tried his best to give Zach Bowles plenty of room, but unfortunately is fallen victim to just kind of being at the wrong spot at the wrong time for when Zach Bowles has slapped the wall. But the one person that's loving this is Colton Gardner, as he's been able to drive away to a 4-second lead because of this. And those two trucks look like they've been through the ringer here at Darlington. Those look like Darlington trucks. Tremendous battle going on right now as we see McAravey get another run to the inside of Zach Bowles. McAravey backs off pretty early. Bowles is going to be able to use the high side momentum. They're side by side down into turns 1 and 2. And this time by, McAravey is able to complete the pass. But unfortunately for him, he is about 5.5 seconds back now of Colton Gardner and has significantly more damage. But how about Colton Gardner? Came out here, won the pole. Bright green, I guess really it's Menards yellow. Truck. Looking good out front right now. Meanwhile, how about the resolve of Brandon Birmingham? Oh, it looks like he's going to pit right now. I was going to say, man, he really fought back hard to get himself back into 4th spot. Just a shame he couldn't capitalize with the lucky dog. And Zach Bowles on the pits. Let's see what happened. He had an unsafe pit entry, he said, according to iRacing, wanting to get that black flag cleared. Oh, he missed the commitment cone. That's what happened. You see here. Yep, he missed the commitment cone. And that's what happened. That's why iRacing gave him that black. So unfortunately, interesting that they're going to remove that black because it was, judging by what we saw on the replay, is warranted. You got to hit that commitment cone under NASCAR rules. If you miss that commitment cone, it is an unsafe pit entry, and you would get the black flag. Looking at Colton Gardner right now, still out front by about 8 seconds, so he knows right now he can kind of put it in cruise control, dial back the effort for maybe 100% to maybe 85, 90%, just to make sure you don't slap the wall and throw this one away. And man, for Caden McAravey, what could have been? He was right with Colton Gardner throughout the first part of this race. And just ended up getting trapped behind the 53 truck and caught up in an unfortunate circumstance where Vols slapped the wall right in front of him. So we hear Zach Vols complaining over the radio, but I mean, if you go back and look at it, unfortunately, that was the right call. He did miss the commitment cone. And how about Erik Richardson? Had that motor blown earlier, but he still might strive and end up with a podium finish. Currently running third, 2 laps back of our 2 front runners. Well, when the field starts to get spread out like this, I know one of the things we typically like to do is take a ride around the track with the leader. So as Colton Gardner comes down the backstretch and goes through 3 and 4, we'll jump into the cockpit with our leader and take a ride around this historic Darlington Raceway. So as we mentioned, turns 1 and 2 a lot wider than 3 and 4. This is the preferred line. You dive down low like that, let the truck drift up high, and then bring it back towards the bottom there to get a clean exit. You want the truck to be as straight as possible down the Boeing backstretch, and then remember that this turn right here is a little bit tighter. Now there's 2 ways to approach this turn. You can either take the low line and drift up high at the end, or you can use the banking to your advantage and ride it up high. Obviously right now with Colton Gardner having this significant of a lead, no sense in him to push it all the way up against the wall. Just drive it a little bit conservative and make sure you keep all the fenders on it. Such a great racetrack, really provides great value for the race fan. I've been here a few times. I'd really like to go to the Southern 500 this year as well. If you've never been there, make sure you check out this racetrack. 6 laps to go this time by. Not sure how close the 13 of Erik Richardson and the 41 of Brandon Birmingham are, but we can try and take a peek and see if that's any kind of a battle. So there's the 13 and there's the 41. So it must be Zach Vols in between them, yep. I saw it was a dark truck, but you can tell the 53 of Vols has much fresher tires right now. Oh, see Richardson catch the wall. And back up front with Colton Gardner. It's been the story of the race. Looking for his first career Wednesday night dash win, and just a few laps away from it. About 10 seconds now, the gap between Colton Gardner and Caden McAravey. Tell you what, through the second half of this race, I don't know if Gardner's touched the wall at all. He has no stripe. I think he had one through the first half, but nothing this time. 2 laps to go. Gap still 10.5 seconds over Caden McAravey through 3 and 4, trying to get the white flag this time by Colton Gardner. There it is, the white flag. One more time around. Cleanly through turns 1 and 2. And for the final time through 3 and 4. And Colton Gardner is going to win it. And there's some sort of discrepancy going on. So this is the last lap, and this is what the two were talking about. Zach Bowles trying to get around McAravey and gets into him yet again.